Hello everyone, and welcome to another video of Confronting Chaos, a series of partner videos to Chaos fight footage to outline the enemies and explain why characters are boosted. In this video, I'll be going over the Ultimecia Lost Chapter Chaos fight, so let's get into it. This Chaos fight is divided into two waves. The first wave is against two Samo 8Gs, and the second wave is against two effects. The Sams use primarily physical attacks, only have a single HP attack, and their single magic attack is a group attack. They have a buffing move in Store, which they can cast freely and immediately after any of their other moves. This grants them Bravery, Bravery buffs, Frame physical damage resist, and Gunsmoke, a frame buff that acts as a sap to the whole party, but it seems only one Gunsmoke is active at a time, whichever casts it last. Two of the boosted units may be physical damage based, but since they have boosted stats, they can still do decently against the Sams, even once they have that protect buff up, and all their buffs only last for 2 turns at a time. They are capable of granting themselves Brave Regen though, as well as possibly paralyzing a unit on all of their plus variation attacks. The main boss for this fight is the Effect. They are only immune to Confuse, so semi-sorry Porum users. Their gimmick is in the moves Reaper Rise and Aqua Spiral. As their HP drops, they'll do Reaper Rise, which is their stat raise move. However, it's also a tell that their next move is Aqua Spiral. Aqua Spiral grants the effect a lot of bravery, reduces brave damage taken until broken or until their next turn, cleanses them of non-frame debuffs, and grants them 1 turn worth of Elude. If they're broken or have little bravery on their next turn, they'll do Break, which inflicts stone. However, if you either can't break them or they regen their bravery on their next turn, they'll do Demonsplash, a powerful single target magic attack where the effect gains a large amount of bravery beforehand, and if your unit happens to survive, they'll be dispelled of all buffs. Poisons and saps don't work on your turn, so it's a good idea to use some combination of brave reduction attacks, taking a lot of turns after they use Aqua Spiral to get their bravery down, or use high turn delay or turn deletion. Tanks are also pretty useful for their high survivability and having a last stand, letting you survive the demon splashes as long as you heal in between. Compared to other stat gain moves, both effects will do Reaper Rise at the same time, so it doesn't necessarily matter whether you kill them at the same pace or not, but they are not an enemy wave that enrages if one is killed. Besides all that, they have a combination of melee and magic attacks, and are capable of inflicting stone, speed down, and poison. With the enemies out of the way, let's analyze the boosted characters for this fight. Pain gets her realization with this event, but receives no rework. Realization improves both versions of her EX cast by turning it into a 4-hit group attack with split damage cast twice, both with more power. It also improves the effectiveness of wing power for both the team and on enemies. 1 ingot is a stat boost and raises attack and max bravery, things Pain kinda desperately wants. 2 ingots starts Pain off with wing power and 3 stacks of dress sphere, as well as applying status break to all enemies at the start of every wave. 3 ingots further improves the damage of her EX cast in both forms, as well as regenerating 1 cast of break attack after use. She also gains access to Brave and HP 2+ variants as well as Triple Cut Plus. As for Ultimecia LD, it grants her Shockwave Pulsar, a group attack that deals split damage but can overflow to 200% similar to her EX. It immediately grants her 5 levels of Maleficium, removing her ramp up time and letting you make up for any mistakes if you let it fall off. It also grants her a new frame buff in Sorceress's Intervention, which grants Ulti much appreciated regen and overflow. The LD passive also grants her more attack and max bravery. Squall's back on this banner, but only his weapons through his EX. The good thing though is if you geared up Squall on his LD and burst banners, then he's absolutely going to be an asset for this fight thanks to his many hits on his LD and EX. Not to mention his burst giving you more control as well if you have it. Shantatone meanwhile is absolutely a great choice if you have her LD, as she has strong magic damage, can apply a useful frame debuff for defense and sap, and her LD debuff can make the effects a lot more manageable. Put the debuff on them before they do Aqua Spiral, but remember that they gain Elude for that 1 turn that they are in Aqua Spiral, so it might not stick if you cast it afterwards. As for the team I chose, here's the breakdown. Aphmau provides healing, battery, good buffs, and 2 more unique aspects she has are debuff immunity and strong turn control. While she doesn't technically delay or steal turns, she'll have her unique effect up every 2 turns or so, and with it she gets 3 actions in a row while still letting enemies and teammates regen bravery, meaning more actions to shave bravery and also potentially wait for breaks. Everyone in this team is about the same speed as each other. The only person with occasionally higher turn rate is Zac, but no one is fast enough to burn out the duration of her buffs. Her debuff immunity was helpful to keep units from being paralyzed and Zac from being turned to stone. Immediatelian synergizes with the regen provided by Aphmau, and their turn deletion helps out immensely in this run. Plenty of battery, good magic damage, and the LD's ability to do 100% gravity was an amazing asset when the effects do Aqua Spiral. As long as your timing of LD casts is good, one Immediatelian is enough to handle the Brave Gain of all the Reaper Rise casts, and in the first wave, having 3 or 4 frame debuffs makes the Sam's buff not quite as effective. Zac is the primary damage dealer here and easily grabs enemy attention with how effective his taunting moves are. His damage is certainly reduced in the first wave due to the Sam's Protect buff, but his multipliers when targeted are still decent, and of course his EX is entirely magic. With all the initial bravery buffs in this party, his shield was definitely able to break 10,000, making him immune to brave damage. His last stand was relied on just a bit to survive one of the effects using Demonsplash, as if they recover from break at the same time they get their next turn, they'll still do the more aggressive action instead of break, which would more than likely kill units under normal conditions. With that, this Chaos fight should be covered. If you want to see my footage of this fight, I'll link it in the corner and in the description below. If you liked what you saw and want to see future fights, subscribe so they show up as they're made. If you have any suggestions or thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.